Alright, so recently I've been watching a lot of videos about fraudulent characters, and I really wanted to compile my own top 3 most fraudulent characters in any verse. And before we get started, bro, this list is completely subjective. Anybody can be on this list. This is just my top 3. So without further ado, let's just get into it. Okay, so at number 3, we have Superman. Now you may be thinking Superman being on this list is crazy, but you genuinely gotta think. In any universe where Superman was evil, when did he win? Or better yet, when did he beat Batman? Now, I'm a Batman fan, and sometimes I think him not beating Batman half of the time is low-key cliche. But then I look at every time he's ever been whooped in hand-to-hand combat without his powers, and even sometimes with his powers. And then not to mention, it's a thing in the comics where Wonder Woman and Batman taught Superman different forms of martial arts. And also, bro, you really can't say much. He's literally a fucking alien. And I also know there's an ending in Injustice 2 where Superman wins, but everybody and their mom knows that another Injustice game is gonna come out, and the Batman ending is the canon ending. But before we move on from Superman, I have to list one example that really made me think he was a fraud. And that moment happened to be in the Injustice comic when Batman pulled some cheese with some Greek gods, where he pretty much made Superman and Wonder Woman fight each other, and Wonder Woman violated Superman in front of everybody. And I genuinely think this panel right here proves that without his powers, Superman is just a fraud. And at this number 2 spot, we got Gohan. And putting Gohan in this list hurts so much that I just have to let Michael explain why. So just let him cook.
Yo, Stealing Black One, and I'm here to talk about the biggest fraud in all of Dragon Ball. Now, I know some of y'all niggas might say, Krillin's a fraud. No. We ain't even get to the biggest fraud. Son, Fraudulent. Oh, y'all might call him Gohan. This nigga Gohan has been a fraud since he was a little boy. Back in the Cell games. Now, he got a new power. Super Saiyan 2. You know, cool ass transformation. Nigga was doing this shit until they got over his head. First instance of him doing this shit. He got over his head. He's the reason why Goku died. Nigga killed my Goku. Goku now needs to sacrifice himself. This dumb bitch locked in. He's a fraud, so he can help himself. Instance number 2 in the Majin Buu arc. Oh my god. I don't know what's bad. This one or the one after, but this one's bad because this ass whooping is bad. The nigga pulls up on Buu. Nigga thinking he big shit. Yo, I'm gonna kill you. He start fucking up Boo and shit. But what makes it worse, he lets Boo run away. Boo come back. He start talking shit. He letting Boo get to his head. And Boo absorbs Go Tanks. Becomes Boo Tanks. I'm telling you, bro. Boo Tanks started pulling them paws on that nigga. Got that nigga screaming, hiding. I ain't never seen a Dragon Ball character hide. Or more of a Saiyan hide. Like, that nigga was hiding. That shit was sad, bro. Goku, no, not Goku, Tien. Tien had to come in with the clutch. Oh my god, nigga, that shit was bad. And he fumbled again. Goku tried to give him the fucking Patara earrings to fuse. Butterfingers Gohan. Nigga had that shit twice and dropped it twice. And they got absorbed. This nigga's a fraud. Now my final words for Fraudulent. In Resurrection F, this nigga couldn't even go Super Saiyan in the fucking anime. That's how fraudulent. He almost died. He almost died trying to transform and raise his ki, nigga. Oh, this nigga Gohan, sorry as shit.
See, I told y'all boys let Michael cook. Now, before we fry this last fraudulent character, I feel like there's so many frauds out here in fiction that we have to have at least 2 honorable mentions on this list. Now, before I start listing off the honorable mentions, I would like to explain these honorable mentions probably aren't complete frauds. They just have one big fraudulent moment. Now, with that out the way, with honorable mention number 1, we have Starlord from the MCU. And I really don't give a fuck if you like this nigga. I personally hate him because this nigga literally caused the downfall of the MCU now that I look back at it. Because when this clown started crashing out on Thanos about Gamora while being in the middle of taking the gauntlet away from him, which then gave him an adrenaline boost to crash out and then start violating the Avengers. Like, that shit is sickening to think about. Because I want you guys to think, if he doesn't crash out right there and the Avengers get the Infinity Gauntlet right then and there, Tony Stark doesn't die, which then Far From Home never happens, which then sets up to none of the MCU after No Way Home happening. That shit is genuinely just baffling to think about. And with that being said, at honorable mention number 2, we have Reiner from AOT. Now personally, I like Reiner, and when he revealed that he was the Armored Titan, I think that was one of the greatest scenes of Attack on Titan. But then my opinion on Reiner changed when Eren showed up and confronted him in front of Falco and had this nigga trembling in fear. Now, if you haven't watched AOT, you probably wouldn't know, but at the beginning of the show, Reiner was flipping shit. Reiner was like one of the top captains in their class. So for Eren to show up and make Reiner understand that he was completely defenseless in this situation before showing him why he was completely defenseless, which is crazy in itself because Eren violated their entire island while they were making a speech about how they were gonna go and destroy Eren's island. And if I'm being real, gang, I would have killed 80% of the world too, because it's cool when everybody want to kill my people, but when I want to defend myself, it's a problem. Eren did nothing wrong. But now, last but not least, with the number 3 pick of most fraudulent characters, we have Obito. I personally do fuck with Gohan heavy, but Obito clears him on my scale of a character. But although I still fuck with Obito heavy, I can still say his reasonings for being a villain are hella fraudulent. Like for an example, bro, one of the main reasonings for him going to join Madara was seeing Ren die. But then when you see the fight between him and Kakashi in the Kamui dimension, he starts to go on about how the shinobi world was rotten from the start and he needed to change it by putting everybody in the Infinite Tsukuyomi. But that makes no sense because honestly, he would have had a better chance of changing the world if he would have came back and been Hokage like he once dreamed upon. But not only that, it really took Naruto 5 minutes of talk no jutsu to convince you your entire plan for starting this war was fraudulent. And then not only that, he died and had a heroic death, and I'm using quotation marks on that. Because honestly, when you think about it, he killed countless other people, including himself, for some bullshit that started all when he was like a preteen. Which, don't get me wrong, he was right about the shinobi world being corrupted. But none of his actions bettered the world. They just caused more chaos. So that's why Obito is going to be on the 3rd spot of this list. And if I'm being real, that hurts me more than putting Gohan on this list. But with that being said, thank you guys for watching. If you guys enjoyed, like, comment, and subscribe. And with that being said, I'm out. Peace.